Yeah, and it's difficult. I actually ran into a gal in a coffee shop last night who was studying to be a nutritionist or dietitian, I guess it is. And I asked her, so is the mantra still low fat, high carb diets? And the low carb diet is bad? And she said, yeah, they really still frown upon the low carb thing, and they just basically advocate, a moderate amount of everything, a moderation diet, which is kind of like the new food pyramid. I don't know if you've seen it, but they've changed it from being horizontal lines to now vertical lines.
Yes.
So they're kind of conceding that, okay, so not all fat is bad, and fat can actually be good for you. And, maybe excess carbs is a little bad, but they're still reluctant to really look at the evidence for the low carb thing. And in relation to family members and so forth, it's almost seen as a radical way of eating.
Yes.
It's hard to convince people that it's actually a healthy way of eating, right?
Yeah.
It is very difficult. I mean, the best help that I found is that my success tends to speak for itself.
Mm-hmm.
And with the unsupportive people, I'm just trying to remind them that this radical plan that I'm doing has taken care of some of my weight issues. It stopped irritable bowel syndrome. It stopped GERD. It stopped the severe fatigue that I used to fight on a daily basis.
Mm-hmm.
I remind them that I don't really get sick much anymore because my eating plan keeps my immune system in top shape.
Yeah, I noticed that too when I started eating low carb. I used to get these massive colds that would last for weeks. And then suddenly, like, I would rarely get a cold. And if I did, it was like just a few days and pretty mild.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm the mommy, and, when everybody's sick at my house, guess who's cleaning up and taking care of them?
Yeah.
And beforehand, it wouldn't be no time at all. I was really sick, just like everybody else. And when I'm eating correctly, I don't have those issues. I mean, we've already had a couple of bouts of the flu here this year already, and I haven't gotten anything. And I've just managed to stay healthy. But I'm not putting sugar in my system. I'm not dumping all that on my immune system, and
Yeah.
it's just great. It's hard to argue with that, I think.
Yeah.
And I also tell them about my blood work. After my first year on low carb, I decided to prove to myself and everyone else that what I was doing was good for me. And I went to the doctor and had him do a full lipid profile. So I walked into my doctor's office, and the nurse sits down with me, and she says, okay, we're going to talk about your results. She said, I just have to tell you that in all of my 20 years of nursing, I've never seen blood lipids this good.
Wow.
And she said, I really want to know. She said, I've noticed that you've lost a lot of weight. I want to know what you're doing, because I've been doing Weight Watchers, and I've been on it like 6 months, and I've only lost 10 pounds.
Uh-huh.
And I said, you really want to know what I'm doing? She said, absolutely. I want to give it a try. And I said, I'm on the Atkins diet. And you could have heard a pin drop. That was not the answer she was expecting at all.
Yeah.
And so I proceeded to tell her, I eat meat, I eat eggs, I eat cheese, but I also eat lots of vegetables, more vegetables than I ever ate on a low-fat diet.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not talking potatoes and rice, it's the good vegetables. So I had to kind of inform her what a low-carb diet really was, because so many people still have the conception that we just eat bacon and cheese and red meat, and that's what our diet consists of.
Yeah.
But she was just floored, because that wasn't what she was expecting at all. So I like to, when I do get into this debate, I like to remind people of these things and tell them my story and say, if it's not for you, that's great, but it's working for me, and I'm not going to change a thing I'm doing, because it's kept me healthy, and it's made all the difference in my life.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've seen the documentary Fathead by Tom Naughton.
No.
No, I haven't yet.
Oh, it is wonderful. He tells how the body works and how the insulin works and all this. And my children now, after watching his little illustrations on the movie, can tell you how insulin enters the body and how we produce too much insulin. I mean, they really grasped it after seeing that. So I highly recommend that documentary to anyone.
Knowledge is power, isn't it?
It is. And I'm thankful that I'm able to show them the differences, unlike with me, where I always thought it was the pasta and the low-fat tortillas and those kind of things that were good for me, and they know better, and I'm glad for it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, lots of great information.
Yeah, that's great.
I appreciate you guys taking the time to talk to me and let me voice my opinions and have my say. When I started in 2001, it was a craze, and we were all nuts, and nobody thought it was healthy but the people that were actually low-carbing and the doctors that were promoting the diets.
Yeah, I'd say times have definitely changed in that regard. It seems like the consumer community, with their high demand for this way of eating, along with the empirical research, the new studies and popular books such as Gary Taub's Good Calories, Bad Calories, have pretty much dragged the medical community and the nutrition industry kicking and screaming into a new way of looking at these things, a more objective way of looking at nutrition and health and fitness. And so I think that about wraps it up for us. Thanks for joining us, Amy. This was great.
Yeah, thanks, Amy. I really enjoyed it, and good luck with everything you're doing.
Thanks so much, and good luck with your podcast. I'll be sure to tell people about it.
Oh, great.
Great. Thanks a lot. We'll put all your info in the show notes.
All right. I appreciate it.
Okay.
Take care. Have a good week.
You too. Bye-bye.
So that was our interview with Amy. Hope you all liked it. And if you have any suggestions for other people that you would find interesting that we interview, just go to our website, healthymindfitbody.com, and you can find our Twitter accounts there. You can send us direct message on Twitter, or just write comments from the show notes. We'll put all the links in the show notes to this show. And if you really like the show, you can go to iTunes and rate and review it from iTunes. There we'll have a link there in the show notes also.
And just a reminder, if you want to pick up our free audio, just go to healthymindfitbody.com.
Yep, just upper right-hand corner, your name and email address. You get that free bonus audio that talks about the 3 pillars for achieving your perfect weight. So thanks for listening, everyone, and we'll talk to you next week.
Thanks, guys. Happy holidays. Talk to you next week.